Hi everybody, so this is our first video. I want to talk about one of the main questions that we've been getting from our clients lately. It's about the new changes for the TRO. So TRO, there's been some updates about the TRO. So TRO is one of the basis, grounds. If you look online, you'll find a lot of detail about certain bases grounds. One of them is being retired, right? And another one is a TRO. So right now I have the website. Let's see which one. This one is legala.io. Now I'm gonna go through some of the details on this web page. So for people, this one affects, of course, people who are currently staying under TRO basis in the for Bulgarian residency, and also, of course, for people who've been using this as who've been wanting to use this as the basis for residency here in Bulgaria. So in June of 2025, so it's this year. They have updated it or changed it so that the main two thing is that there's a financial criteria. So the minimum annual turnover has to be 51,000 euros. So it's about 100,000 leva. So this has to be the minimum annual turnover for each of the last 2 calendar years. So every year you need to have a annual turnover of this. So your company has to have activity. So as some of you might know, previous to this change, there was no requirement for any kind of minimum activity, and so that means the company could be making no money, not just no money, it as in no profit, as in absolutely no activity would have been fine. So yeah, so a lot of people had companies that were just open for the sole purpose of coming to Bulgaria. So obviously it makes sense that they have set a minimum requirement. In the beginning, I also was shocked that there was no minimum requirement. But yes, so this is the main thing, and some websites and some people are lawyers are calling it death to TRO, something like this, because it's true. A lot of people who are moving to Bulgaria, they're retired, but also they're not retired. They're usually in their late 40s or late 50s, or they're not getting their pension yet, but they have slowed down in their working, or they're still kind of like they're still retired basically, and they're coming to stretch their dollar, stretch their euro, and so it's going to be hard to have a 51,000 euro turnover, although if it's a active company having 5,000 euro per month of financial activity, it's a completely doable amount. It's not ridiculous by any means. So I don't think necessarily it's like death to TRO, but yeah, I think it'll be much less requests to use this as a basis for residency in Bulgaria. Now, the other thing is the trade representative. Before it used to be 3, now it's changed to 2. So yeah, I mean, I don't think this will affect so much. I actually haven't processed many I haven't met with that many clients that actually use the whole free 3 spots. And instead, and most of the time it's been 2. So I feel like this won't make such a huge difference. I think they just don't want you to exploit the system, I guess. I think I did hear of other things going on as well, so maybe they reduce that number. That's the main thing. And now let's talk about people who've already, but you can still use a TRO procedure. People tout it as a very fast, uncomplicated process compared to the others. It's still complicated. It's still more complicated than it needs to be, but yeah, okay, there is that. And but now let's look at, what was I going to say about the TRO. Now, are these changes valid for already registered TROs? The brief answer is yes, but there would be a 2-year delay for already registered trade representative office. They will have enough time to fit into the new requirements, and from 2027 they should be compliant with the current changes. So let's say you're applying for like 2000, this is 25 now, 2026, so you're applying for that. So starting from 27, so that, yeah, that's 2 years. Starting from 27, you cannot be using the same paperwork anymore. You have to have, starting from here, you have to have show financial activity annual turnover of minimum 51,000 euros in this company. And so yeah, so that's the thing, but you have 2 years, so that probably isn't enough for a lot of people. And we can go later on, we can talk about what would be the options for the other 2-3 years left. Okay, now besides that, I think TRO is still a viable option because it's not, the amount is not ridiculous. It's okay. It's doable for people who haven't been using basically an empty account, an empty company. Now, we will go into, let's go into something else.